deep that they gave her the 19th chapter. Because we just finished talking about how Mary was the mother of God, who we call Jesus according to the Catholic Church. So then you got to add in the fact that those, as we know, was taken forth and stripped from the ancient Kemetic teachings, and that is nothing more than Set and Heru. And this all is in reference to the Kundalini energy. The Kundalini energy is Set. Jesus is the hollow area, which is known as the Sushumna, in which that takes the breath in order to awaken those 6, quote-unquote, chakras along the spinal column and the last one in the brain. Okay? So it takes the breath. The breath comes from the word shu within ancient Kemet. Okay? The word breath is translated to shu. What is Jesus' Aramaic name? Yah-shu.
Wow.
So that tells you right there that shu is the mediator of the higher self and the lower self. The lower self being the 3 lower chakras, the heart chakra being the mediator. That's why you always see those paintings of Jesus, regardless of his being white, black, or whatever, of the heart being right there at the center, because that's what he was symbolic to and representing the heart. And then you find the 3 higher chakras, which is the higher self. So in the middle here, because what else also is covered by this here? The lungs, symbolic to the 2 witnesses within your within the book of Revelations. That's what that is. The lungs are symbolic to the 2 witnesses. Now check this out within the book of Revelations. That's what the 2 witnesses are symbolic to. You get 12 ribs on this side, 12 ribs on this side. Symbolic to 24. That's symbolic to the 24 elders that sat around the throne of God. Now this is just on the lower form. The higher form is the same thing here in the brain. It takes place in the exact same way in the brain. The skull acts like the protection or covenant as the what? As the ribs. And inside, directly sitting in the center, are 12 pair of cranial nerves. And sitting directly in the center of those 12 pair of cranial nerves that sit surrounded, just like the zodiac sign here, is directly in the center is the pineal gland. So what is so fascinating about this is that we're taking that which is external, and now we have a source on how to apply it now. In the center of this will be our sun, as it takes a trip around the 12 zodiac signs every 26,000 years. Well, inside your brain, you have your sun, which is Helios, which is the soul, because that's where you get the word soul, or soul, or, right? Solar, short for soul, Ra. So within your brain is the soul of Ra, which is also known as the seat of the soul, which is known as your pineal gland, which is also known as the throne of Set. And who sits in Set's throne? Osar. So Osar is your soul. He who has the ability in order to rule the day and the night, to rule also the light and the shadow. And the shadow being tap into the subconscious states of the mind. That's what is known as the underworld. And that's why Osar has the ability in order to be conscious and rule this particular realm, as well as be unconscious, or go back into what is known as the realm of the unconscious and tap directly into the subconscious planes of the mind. So that means that Osar is the one in which they give you the ability in order to rule your physical body and the rest of your astral body, which is your lower etheric body, your higher etheric body, your emotional body, your mental body, causal body, soul, spiritual body, and your soul body. Those 7 bodies are controlled by the god Osar. The pyramids of Giza is actually centered, it is placed in the center of the earth. The tallest pyramid sits directly in the center of the earth, which would be called who? Khufu. Khufu, the largest one, sits directly in the center of the Earth. According to the calculation that the Earth is almost 25,000 some odd miles in diameter. It sits directly in the center. And that's odd that, you know, it takes almost 26,000 years for the sun to move through the 12 constellations, and then our circumference of the planet Earth happens to be about the exact same circumference as which it takes for us to travel. So that means that
miles?
almost it's over 25,000 miles in circumference.
Okay.
In circumference. So that means you go from here, you start at whatever point, it takes you about 25,000 miles in order to get back to the original point. And it just happened to be about the same as the over 25,000 years in which it takes for the sun to travel through the solar system. So you know that's the you know the correlation. Once again, as above, so below, as within, so without. But the science is that 19, the 1 and the 9. The 1 represents Alpha, the 9 represents Omega. And together represents you mastering your lower self and your higher self. The lowest etheric plane, the highest etheric plane, which would be the universal ether. So it's a combination, or accumulation rather, of all the planes in existence. And you being, quote unquote, one like the Son of Man, who was what? Who was known as the Alpha and the Omega, in which they called the beginning and the ending. Okay? But I'm like Khalid Muhammad, actually there was no beginning and end for you, because you came from out of triple stage darkness. And nobody, even to this day, knows of your beginnings. And they definitely can't tell you when of your ending. So that's the key, you know what I'm saying? So it was just deep that at 19 degrees, that if you superimpose a 6-pointed star, this is what's called hyperdimensional charting. Hyperdimensional charting. You can take a 6-pointed star and super over any planet. For example, you do it over Mars, you would have the Sidonian site in which they find the face of Mars, the face on Mars there in that area. If you do it on Jupiter, you find that red giant, the giant red spot.
Sure.
If you do it here on Earth, you find the Hawaiian Islands, which was once part of the Lemuria or Moor. You get what I'm saying? So it's all right. You do it on the sun, you find the sunspots coming up out of that interior of the sun at that particular 19.5 degree angle.
Okay.
So
Can you do it on a human?
So this means that this solar system is ruled by the number 19, the Alpha and the Omega. Huh?
Can you do it on a human? You know, like, can you do it on a human and find out where your
I already know. It's the spine.
Really?
Yeah. It's your Kundalini energy. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. The correlation. The upswelling of energy that resides within you is the Kundalini energy. Which is located right here, as you see at the base of the spine. Right here, check this out. Make this into a man. This be the arm, this coming down the back. This is the spinal column right here, going into the legs. You know what I'm saying? The physical body forms, man body forms into a 6-pointed star. Arm, leg, arm, and head, plus the penis. 6 points. The female forms into a 5-pointed star with the interior of the 6 point pointing upward, representing a more defined connection to that upswelling of energy. You get what I'm saying?
That's too clear.
There you go. So the physical body is actually set on the principle of the tetrahedron or a hexagram.
Which, if I hear you correctly, if I'm wrong, so that the woman has more access,
right,
or
easier
more
access.
Easier access, or more readily to receive the energy. Okay,
that's right. Much more easier to receive the energy. That's the key. Than the man would be. Right. You know, even though we the electrical pole, but they represent the magnetic pole. and that means the pole of attraction. So that means that they have a close connection to the attraction of energy. You know what I'm saying? Once we get in tune with our feminine nature, or feminine side, which is actually the right hemisphere of the brain, as we tap into the 90% of the brain that we don't use, we also gain that ability.
When we think of ourselves as just human beings, it's something else. Like it seems like we're made of wires and screws or machines or mechanics or something other than just flesh.
Your lymph nodes are the screws or the bones. That's what holds your lymphatic system together, which is connected to your thymus gland, which gives you the ability in order to have a defense system. Okay, the veins, you know what I'm saying, are like the wires or the nerves. You know what I'm saying? The capillaries. Those are like the wires on which that help bring the information or the electrical impulses or electromagnetic impulses that you receive from externally as well as the internally body-wise. Okay? So I mean, that's what really everything it's not that fact that you're a machine, it's the fact that everything which that is made or technology is made from the physical body. Yeah. The camera is nothing more than your eye.
Yes, it's a mechanical manifestation
of
the eye.
Right. The TV is nothing more than what?
Brain.
The visualization, the brain, or component of the brain. The computer is actually the mind. The TV will be more so the brain. Okay. Same thing with everything is just made from here. From the physical body.
The automobile's the same.
Right, the automobile's the same thing.
This is a representation.
Those electrical chips that they have now within the car, you know what I'm saying? Those computer chips, those are like certain portions of the brain.
You need fuel to run the machine.
Right.
You need oil to lubricate.
The lubrication, or you need some what? The water along with the antifreeze and a mixture of water that would be there in order to help lubricate and keep the components of the machine running, you know what I'm saying, nicely. Right, temperature, right. Temperature gauge along with the antifreeze and everything is there in order to keep your body at what? Like 98.6 degrees. Right.
Yeah,
so
and
I mean,
if a car runs hot, and if a car runs hot, what do? You put water in the radiator.
Car run hot, right. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with you. You know what I'm saying? You run hot, you go take yourself a cold shower. You got a fever, you take a cold shower in order to cool your body down. You take a cold rag and put over your forehead in order to bring your temperature down. Whatever the case may be, everything is based off of the physical body. And that's why we begin and study so much and research so hard about the physical body and showing the correspondence of the universe to the physical body. You know the biorhythm of the brain is 33 days. Now that coincides with the fact of the Masons and then 33 degrees. Along also with the fact that you have 33 vertebrae, as well as also 31 nerves inside of the 33 vertebrae and 2 nerves on the outside, which gives you 33 nerves. So the number 33 is known within numerology as the supreme master number. And within that, it represents the fact that you are God. That's what the number 33 basically represents within numerology. That you God. That basically, there's nothing that you can't do. All things are possible unto you. So that the brain would be correlating with that number 33, showing you that if you use your mind properly, that you can draw all things unto you, as being that you are in a miniature form of the highest deity or highest person of the universe, God. You are God, but yet just in miniature form. The same thoughts and everything in which that the universe can bear witness to, which is build and destroy, you can do it here. We just trying to help you build.
So
we've been through the destruction.
So you're saying 33 days, so how would you, if someone would ask, like, what about 360 degrees?
Oh, okay, well, 360 degrees, see, you got to realize that when you look at electron under a microscope, you'll find that it skips after it flips 360 degrees. That it do a loop, that is a loop which that is unseen for the electron. And scientists come to find out that it does a whole nother 360-degree loop, but it's unseen. So that means that there's 360 degrees seen, 360 degrees unseen. That means actually 720 degrees. So I wouldn't just stick with 360 degrees, because that would just represent physical manifestation. That's what the square represents. The square represents the physical manifestation. The circle represents spiritual manifestation. In the ancient Kemetic system, and the rituals in which that they performed, it was based on the number 9.
Right.
It was 9 degrees, not 3 degrees like they have within Freemasonry. Within Freemasonry, they have what? Enter the apprentice, fellow craftsman, and then the last one, master mason. So they only have 3 degrees, and those 3 degrees was given to them in order to give them civilization, or to give them some type of to become civilized. Okay, there was still 6 more in which that they never went through.
Have trouble.
Right.
Accessing. Have trouble accessing also.
Yeah, they have trouble accessing. They can't access it. And those other 6 degrees represents tapping into actually the whole 9-degree system is based on universal ether. It's based on, for example, your Kat, your Al, your Ba, your Sau, okay, your Kut. Okay, these are the different ancient Kemetic bodies of your physical body. This is what they call them. Okay, you have 9 of them. Okay, we call them within regular terminology: your physical body, your astral body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spirit, your corporal body, your spiritual body, and your soul body. Plus, the other 2 would be your lower etheric and higher etheric bodies. So that would be part of the 9-code system. Those 9 degrees were able to take you back from being just a mundane student to becoming a spiritual master. In other words, they teach you to learn the basic science on how to master the physical plane. Okay? In other words, you will learn that for 7 years, how to master the physical plane. Then they take you through the astral plane. You will learn how to do your dream interpretations, how to become a lucid dreamer, how to tap into the gifts of vision and prophecies, okay? How to know the difference between and have discernment of the spirit, to know that which comes to you and which that is good and that which that you need to cast off from you. Because there's discernment, you have to have what's called discernment of spirits. Because there's a time in which that disincarnated spirits have a tendency of attaching themselves to you. So they have so you will learn all of this during the for 7 years mastering of the ancient Kemetic system on how to do so. Now we've lowered it down to 1 year. Most of the time it takes 9 years to become what is known as a spiritual master. But the ancients was doing this in like 40 some odd years intervals. By the time that you got to age 40, you had to have mastered your spiritual body, and then you was off to the last one, which was the soul body. And by the time you was 50, you was basically a grand master. You know what I'm saying? Because you have mastered all the components of your bodies. So that's what you learn in the astral body. The emotional body, you will learn about how to balance out your desires and your wants, how to alleviate your envy, jealousy, and hatred, and all of those things, and how to make your reasoning in your mind the overseer of your emotions. Not the fact that you're not going to have emotions, because you will have emotions. That's human. But how to master them and use them appropriately when necessary. You know what I'm saying? Is it necessary to bring up, little petty things when we are in a state of war and we have so much, we have our lives at stakes? It's not the fact that you have to worry about the petty. You got to go beyond the petty little things and move away from that and say, okay, that's something which that is real small and it really takes up too much time and too much energy to release and to even, spend time on. You know what I'm saying? When, we over here need to be thinking about, okay, this strategy, okay, we need a strategy for having food. We need a strategy for you know what I'm saying, for labor, you know what I'm saying, on how to jobs and economics, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Those are, in other words, set your priorities. That's what they would teach you within the emotional body school, is how to do that. The mental body will teach you how to learn visualization techniques and how to imagine words of affirmation, power of words, the healing sounds. Those things will be taught within the mental realm. Okay. Then you have your causal realm. The causal realm give you the ability in order to learn how to remote view, astral project, or astral, or either what's called, I guess you would say, astral travel, astral projection, remote view, and then that will give you the ability in order to go into the spiritual body, in which that you will learn about the science of the sadis, which is basically the gifts and powers or the fruits of Christ, in which then you will learn how to transform molecules or atoms through your breath into manifestation. For example, I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about. Your breath is so powerful that it can actually bring forth the force of subatomic particles. If you lower your breath to 3 breaths a minute, you would tap into what is known as the atomic realm of existence. For example, 3 breaths a minute would be that you have to breathe in 3 breaths. For example, on the count of 10, inhale, on the count of 10, exhale, on the count of 10, inhale, on the count of 10, exhale, on the count of 10, inhale, on the count of 10, exhale. You go 3 in, 3 times 10 inwardly, 30, 3 times 10 outwardly, 30, 30 plus 30, 60. So it gives you the components of 60 minutes. Or 60 seconds, excuse me, within a minute. So that's what you would do. And by you doing that 72 times, because you get back into the number 72, because 7 plus 2 means to be born a thing, because it goes into the number 9 again. So you can do it at 36 or either at 72. Whatever number comes up to the number 9, okay? And you can manifest and bring into existence that which that you want. But that's what your body is. The Kundalini energy in its resting state is 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which means that it is equal to is equivalent to the surface of the sun energy. So as it upswells, it grows larger. And by the time it gets here and you receive that golden halo, it's over 2 million degrees Fahrenheit. So this is, can you imagine 2 million degrees Fahrenheit? But that's what you become the coronosphere. That means you become the energy in which they reside right off the surface of the sun, because now you have developed your halo, or your what? Helios. Because the word halo is the same word as Helios. The word halo means sun. So you have received your sun, and you have become the sun of your solar system. And you have mastered it.
Can you describe more about the Kundalini energy?
Okay, the Kundalini energy resides at the small of the back, at a triangular bone area called your sacral bone. Inside of there, you have what is known as the 8 dividing cells of meiosis or mitosis. Those 8 dividing cells of mitosis are known as your blastula, or blastula pores as they call them. These 8 dividing cells, within an ancient Kemetic term, would be equivalent to your atom, your shu, your tefnut, your gad, your nut, your osor, your oset, your set, and your nethet. That would be equivalent to those 8 dividing cells of meiosis, would be those deities, because they are the ones in which that brings forth life. That's what mitosis does. It brings forth life. How did mitosis begin? It begins through what? A single cell organism called a sperm, as it what? Hits and meets what? The egg, and then the head, the tail breaks off, and the head blows up to the equivalent size of the nucleus of the egg. If it doesn't, then life will not manifest. If it's too large, then life will not manifest. From that equal harmonious, balance, order. What happened is that those two begins to become 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and from that 8, you develop into what is known as an embryo, and then from an embryo into a fetus, and then from a fetus into who you are right now over some years. So that's the key. So that means that that's what the Kundalini energy does, is give you potential creative energy. It gives you the ability in order to create from the unseen into the seen. And as you raise up the consciousness, and the more that it comes up towards here, what happens is that you become Christ-like, being able to take water and transform it into wine, walk on water, levitate, more telekinesis, which means being able to move objects with your mind, telepathics or telepathy, being able to transfer thought. Psychchemistry means that you can come and touch the chalkboard or whatever and know of the last auric residue of the person which that resided there. You will know who it is. You have all these abilities right now, but you just have to become more assured that you have God within you.